There, I think we're good. All right. It is 7 o'clock. We will call to order this regular board meeting of the Palmyra-Eagle Area School District. Tracy, may we have a roll call, please?
Carrie Alice. Here. Justin Thomas. Here. Tara Bowman. Here. Scott Hoff.
Here.
Corey Jones. Matt Mecca. Amy Wild. Here.
With 5 members in attendance, we do have a quorum this evening. The mission statement of the Palmyra-Eagle Area School District is to ensure that students excel with intellect and virtue, inspired by innovative educators who engage and challenge each individual. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don't trip, baby. It's all tangled up. Yep. All right. Any amendments, changes, or additions to the agenda this evening? Hearing none, all those in favor of the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Public comment. Mrs. Schroeder or Mrs. Pronshinsky? All good? All right. Thank you both for coming. Nice to see you this summer. Committee reports, PR committee.
We met earlier this evening. Stephanie updated us on the calendar. Proofs are just about ready, and Steph is hoping to have those in hand and ready to go out August 1st. Also talked about newsletter for next year. The athletic programs. Fort Health is going to be generous again this year and pay for those shells for us. So that is good news. And the calendar this year, we are looking at doing that in color. Steph did a fantastic job of twisting arms and got all of the advertisements. Actually, there's 3 spots left for ads if anyone wants to place an ad. But Steph was able to cover the cost of the calendar. It will be 100% covered through ad spaces. So wonderful job with that stuff. Thank you. And that's about it.
All right, thank you. Administrators' reports. Hearing none, we will quickly move to the consent agenda. Where is that? The consent agenda is handled as a singular motion and vote. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda to be approved, please?
Motion to approve consent agenda as listed.
Second.
All those in favor of the consent agenda as listed, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Steve, one question. How many, with all those good hires, how many openings are still pending?
At the present time, the only vacancy that we have is the middle school, high school agriculture position. Okay. They're going to be doing interviews for that position Monday or Tuesday of next week.
They've got, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, quickly on to action items.
How many school psychologists do we need? Is that one guy?
So there's a full-time position which will be the replacement upon Patty Key's retirement. And if you look at Amanda Jones's administrative report, she outlines the rationale for the 8 hours or the 0.20 FTE for Patty Keys, who, as you might recall, had indicated that she would be willing to come back and do the report writing, which consumes an incredible amount of time.
So we're not a bunch of head cases.
All right, action items. And this is the exciting time of year where we have the bread contracts and food contracts, so we'll cover those. Action item A, consider approval of the 17-18 School Health Annual Report.
Motion to approve 2017-2018 School Health Annual Report.
Second.
Questions or comments about this? Or Steve, anything cooking?
I would just add that, again, thank you this year to Lisa Jensen. As you know, we do contract with Fort Health health care for her time during the school year. You can see by the nature and the content of her report that she's been quite busy, and I will say that she has been able to help establish some connections for some of our students and families with medical providers that are not readily available in the Palmyra area. So we're very appreciative of her efforts in that regard.
All right. All those in favor of the 2017-18 School Health Annual Report as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Action item B, consider approval of the 18-19 milk contract to Mapleton Dairy.
Motion to approve 2018-2019 milk contract to Mapleton Dairy.
Second.
You have a list of the contract information in your packet from Annette. Thank you to her for the hard work on putting these together. Any questions for Steve about this one? Please.
I'm sorry, I have a question because
Microphone.
my
Turn your
microphone
mic.
doesn't work.
Oh,
It says, award the,
There.
it says award the milk contract to Mapleton Dairy, but then on this thing here, it says Kemp's,
it's delivered by Mapleton.
delivered by Mapleton. Okay, so, do we need to say Kemp's on there?
I think Mapleton is fine. They've had the contract and we're happy with the service.
No, valid.
Good
I was
catch,
just-
though.
I was just checking on the wording.
All right. Sounds good. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the milk contract being granted to Mapleton Dairy for the 18-19 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Action item C, consider approval of the 18-19 bread contract to Panna Gold.
Motion to approve the 2018-2019 bread contract to Pan O Gold.
Second.
Questions about this one? Hearing none, all those in favor of the bread contract being granted to Panna Gold for the 18-19 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And action item D, consider approval of the 18-19 food and supply contract to Performance Fox River.
I'll make a motion to approve the
There you go.
18-19 food and supply contract to Performance Fox River.
Any questions on this one or
Yes.
comments? Please.
What does this mean? We were talking about, finding a person to do our lunches. That's not what this is.
No.
This is just where we buy our food.
This is the company that will provide us with the commodities for the food service program. This is not a vended service.
And they got a 9% increase? Looks like,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that is correct.
And I know that's why, Sharon's still working on the other project for going forward, but we still had to get something going for this year, so. All good? All right. All those in favor of the 18-19 food and supply contract being granted to Performance Fox River, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item carries. Action item E, consider approval of the PEASD Student Academic Standards Notice for the 18-19 school year. Come on.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Pages.
motion to approve the,
clicked.
did you want to say that? Motion to approve the PEASD Student Academic Standards Notice for the 2018-2019 school year.
Second.
Questions about this one? All good? All right. All those in favor of the PEASD Student Academic Standards Notice for the 18-19 school year, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Action item F, consider approval of the revised co-curricular pay schedule for the 18-19 school year.
Done.
So you got to do this. The only one Is there one?
Motion to approve the.
Don't do it, because of, doesn't Kevin do JV?
Oh, yes, I
Okay,
can.
so
I have
then,
to abstain.
oh, yep,
Right.
so somebody else.
Make a motion to approve the revised co-curricular pay schedule for the 18-19 school year.
Second.
All right. Questions about this one?
How much is Kevin making?
Not a
right
heck of
there.
a lot, yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah, that's right. Questions or comments about this one? Thank you to board members for proofreading and checking this one out and your catches. All those in favor of the approval of the proposed of the revised co-curricular pay schedule for the 18-19 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstaining?
Aye.
Perfect, thank you. Action item G, consider approval of the proposed PEHS compensation. All right,
One more
start that,
time.
let's have a run at that
One more
again.
time.
G, yeah. Consider approval of the proposed PEHS competency-based alternative education program.
Motion to consider approval
Yeah.
for the proposed PEHS competency-based alternative
Oh,
education
sure,
program.
she slid through it
Look
the
at
first
that.
time,
That
yeah.
was
Smooth as silk,
beautiful.
yeah. Yeah.
Second.
All right, Steve, how about this one?
So this is in keeping with our existing board policy. It's an addition to the GEDO 2 program, which we've had in place for several years now and has been very successful. That's been an opportunity for students to gain credits through the GED program, taking the competency-based exams. This will be kind of a subsidiary of that program. I wanted to thank our staff members, Tori, Franz, and Carrie Tim met with Shelby Nichols and Carrie Dampier to craft this. It's just another opportunity for our students to experience success here and to graduate from high school.
Great. Questions about this one for anybody? Hearing none, all those in favor of the proposed PEHS competency-based alternative education program, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Action item H, consider approval of the Palmyra-Eagle Athletic Booster Club as recognized district support organization for the 18-19 school year.
I make a motion for approval of the Palmyra-Eagle Athletic Booster Club as a recognized district support organization for the 2018-19 school year.
Second.
Any questions on this one? Thank you to the thank you to the boosters for their continued longtime support of the district athletes. All those in favor of the Athletic Booster Club as a recognized district support organization, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And action item I, consider approval of Palmyra-Eagle Quarterback Club as a recognized district support organization for the 18-19 school year.
Motion to approve PE Quarterback Club as a recognized district support organization for the 2018-2019 school year.
Second.
Questions or comments? And again, thanks to the Quarterback Club for all of their support. All those in favor of the Quarterback Club as a recognized district support organization, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And district administrators report, please.
Thank you. So picking up on your last two action items, I just wanted to update the board and thank all of the organizations out there who have submitted their application for the upcoming 18-19 school year to be recognized. As you might recall, we implemented new policy a year ago, so this is actually the first full year that we'll be going through this process after a number of the organizations had experience with this last year. So some of them are still in transition, I know, in terms of having different officers, perhaps updating their bylaws, et cetera, but I did include in your electronic packet a database spreadsheet of those organizations and where they were at in terms of either making application for being recognized, what their fundraising plans were for the upcoming school year, who their officers were, their bylaws, et cetera. And as you might recall, we also require of them to be insured so that they are covered for those activities on which they use school premises or, are affiliated somehow with the district. So I just wanted to give thanks for those folks It's a learning process and a learning curve, obviously, in moving forward. Again, the whole idea was to have procedural safeguards in place for everyone that's involved. And as Scott had mentioned, we rely upon these organizations to fill significant budget gaps for us, and their hard work and efforts allow our student athletes to participate at a high level. So we're very appreciative of all of those organizations. And that includes the parent organizations as well. So kudos to them. We had 3 female and 3 male high school students attend their respective Badger State this summer. So kudos to those kids for their participation and their being selected for that opportunity. For those of you unfamiliar, they're basically involved in a week-long government-based organizational theory, systems theory kind of a process with kids from all over the state of Wisconsin. So it's a great learning opportunity for those students to bring back some of that leadership learning here locally. Again, I've already acknowledged the staff for their work on the competency-based program. Thank you for your support and approval there. We've already made an adjustment to the May board meeting, so for the record, the May 14th regularly scheduled meeting will now be held on May the 21st. That was a result of a conflict with one of our music programs. Online registration will be forthcoming August 1st to the 23rd, and respective open houses will be held. That information will be a Connect 5 message going out at the end of this week. Again, this year, there's an online component to the registration process, so people do not have to actually come in person. We do have set aside new family meet and greets and orientations for anyone new in all 3 of the buildings. And the open houses will be scheduled for Wednesday, August the 29th from 4:30 to 6:30 in all 3 buildings. So just be on the lookout for that information. I'm sure Stephanie will also post it on the district website once that's been made public. I think that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Announcements or comments from anyone this evening? Pretty quiet group, pretty fast night.
Pretty quick night.
All right. Upcoming meetings, curriculum and policy will be at 5 p.m. on Thursday, August 9th. B&G, 5:30 on Tuesday, the 14th. Finance, 6 p.m. on the 14th. Public Relations, 6:30 on the 14th. And the next regular board meeting, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the 14th of August. I'd hear a motion to adjourn from anyone so willing.
Motion to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening.
That was a quick one. You came to one of the fastest ones.